Sahanam punaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Having finished the chapter last time, we had decided to do question answer, right? So, do you have a question? Who has a question? Did anyone send in a question?
Janki ji, we had a question by Naeem, but not sure if he's joined today. Or maybe if he's late, I'll inform.
Oh, so he's not here, but he has a question. Okay. Fine. So we'll not take the question because the questioner is not there. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, so we had already predicted this last time. Does anyone else have a question? No. Okay. So if no...
Janki ji, I have a question.
Okay, good.
The reason we study Vedanta is so that we can desire enlightenment. I mean, because what I mean to say is, not framing this properly. We are proceeding.
Yes, you're correct. What's wrong with your framing? You're right. Do we study Vedanta to desire enlightenment? Yes, we study Vedanta to strengthen our desire for enlightenment. In the normal course of events, why is anyone interested in enlightenment? I mean, you'd like to have lots of money and have good relationships and have children and be beautiful and all. There are so many things we'd want. So now, why would you want to study about enlightenment? But some of us have a little kida in us. We want to know, is there a truth? What is the truth? It's a little kida in us that keeps irritating and bothering us every now and then. While we are, of course, going about our lives trying to enjoy whatever we can, acquire whatever we can. Now, what happens is this goes on all the time. Most of us, many humans must be having that kida. But now, leaving things where they are, you will continue doing what you're doing with this question also there. So when you study Vedanta, this question starts getting more and more importance. And that's why the other things start diminishing in importance. So yes, in answer to your question, do you study Vedanta to gain the desire for enlightenment? Yes. To gain the desire for enlightenment, to strengthen higher desires, to give some fuel into the fire of the higher. Because fuel of the lower is being nicely fired anyway. But
yes,
is this you're consciously attempting to make yourself more noble.
And the reason most of us approach Vedanta is because we are curious, or
That
for the vast majority of us, we can't answer that.
Because theoretically there are 4 reasons why you can come. You may want something material. You figured out that, oh, this kind of thing will help me become very successful in this world. Or you take a very simple example. You go to the temple for what reason? Some people go to the temple because they believe that God will, give them some extra grace marks if if they're good to God. So they go there for that. Sometimes they go there because they have got some emotional issue. They're very agitated. They're very worked up about something. So temple mein shanti milti hai. Or you go there because some curiosity ki kya hai, some kind of curiosity, mundane curiosity. Some people talk like this. They'll talk to you also. Say, oh, you're interested in Vedanta. Have you been to Tirupati Balaji? And if you answer no to that question, they'll behave like, oh, because their concept is, have you not seen all the temples? So this curiosity, how is Tirupati Balaji? How is Mata? How is Vaishno Devi? How is whatever, Shankara Mat? Somewhere, how is Somnath, what is happening in Ayodhya. If you're in religious life, you're expected to know all this stuff. And if you don't know it, then what kind of religious stuff? But those people who do this are motivated by curiosity. Curiosity about books also. Sometimes they get so esoteric. Is book mein aise likha hai, us book mein aise likha hai. 10 narak ke kitne narak hote hai, I forgot. Itne narkon ka description diya hai. They're quite excited about all this stuff. And so curiosity is the third one. The fourth one is some spiritual urge. So theoretically, you can come for any one of these 4 reasons. It
Okay.
may be that you come for a mixture of reasons. Because sometimes, suppose you're very emotionally upset or something. You have so many options, right? You can go to a pub and drink. You can go to a movie and see it. You can go to a counselor. You chose to go to Vedanta. So there is some kind of mixture taking place.
And then as we strengthen the desire, we sort of move away from the other things also, right?
I don't know what you mean by move away. It's not like if you strengthen the desire for enlightenment, you will stop traveling or being interested in your children or whatever in the world you're interested in. But the accent shifts. It's not like you're not doing all these other things, but your mental space is taken up more with some higher ideas. Of course, you will continue your normal life, right? If you take a foreign holiday once a year, you'll do that. Or if you, whatever, you collect stamps, you'll do that. Or if you play bridge, you'll do that. Adisa, for instance, plays bridge. You'll play bridge and whatever. Anybody who's doing whatever they're doing will do it. But the accent will shift. In every aspect of whatever they do, it will be like the saint has sung, Rang de Chunarya. Everything will be imbibed with the color of Vedanta because you're now looking at things differently. So it's almost like, though you are traveling, your thought is Vedanta. Though you're looking after kids, the thought is Vedanta. Not Vedanta, not like Parayan, but you're seeing it differently. So if you mean by mentally move away in the sense of your perception being different, then yes. But if you mean physical movement away, like, oh, now I don't talk to my children or I don't go on a foreign tour, whatever it is, I don't collect stamps anymore, then that's not necessarily true.
No, what I meant by moving away is we become purer in our emotions and therefore we focus on fewer things. Like the clutter reduces.
Yes, clutter reduces, yes. And we are more true to this individuality. This individuality means how this body, mind, intellect are formed until you become true more and more to the self. The current condition is we're not true to our body, mind, intellect. Right? That famous, we studied it yesterday in class, a Shaw's quote. Back to Methuselah, one of those, in that play. Are you familiar with Back to Methuselah by Shaw? No. Okay, so it's the future. I mean, it's all 3 periods of time, but this particular part, it's a 9-hour play. So it's all 3 periods of time, past, present, and future. So the present means his present, not our present. So then in the future, children are born in eggs and they are born fully grown. Now, though they're physically born fully grown, their mental levels are not. This is he's a satirist, right? So he shows those people talking like us today, like that example we did yesterday. He said, how can I have an opinion? I haven't read the morning's paper. So he's not true to himself. He doesn't know what that is. He can only follow other people's opinions because he doesn't have an understanding of self. He's just born. Like literally he's come out of the egg and he's talking like an adult. So it's quite funny actually, because that's how we talk, and he's trying to show how childish we are. So today's condition is we can't be true to our own body, mind, and intellect. We have to reach being true to the self. Oops, where are you? Oh, there you're back. Okay.
My internet is unstable.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost you for a few seconds.
All right. So where did you hear up to?
You were talking about the future in this play where the children are they're grown adults, but they're mentally not.
Yeah, they're born in an egg. They're born from an egg, so they come out like adult, in body adult. But
Right.
views are very childish. Means immature views of today's adults. That's what he's satirizing. And so he says, how can I have an opinion? I haven't read the paper. So he doesn't know what to think about something unless somebody tells him. So he's not capable of being true to himself because he doesn't know who he is. How can you be true to something you don't know? You can't just be yourself. So today's condition is we cannot be true to our body, mind, intellect. So what we have to do is become true to our body, mind, intellect, and from there be able to be true to the self. Today we are so superficial. I don't know what word to use. It's like I can't just be my natural self. And
Inauthentic.
in anything. I don't have my own views on anything at all.
No, I was saying inauthentic. We are more inauthentic today.
Yes. Inauthentic, yes. Okay.
So yes. Thank you.
Milind, you had something?
Yes, Janki ji, Hariom. Janki ji, in last class we discussed in meditation, no, the last thought for self-realization is dropped in the meditation, right? So how it is possible? Last thought, how it will be dissolved in the meditation? I cannot understand this. Something will be there, no? Yes.
Correct. That is what it
Huh?
should be.
It is theory. Actually, it is theory, no? It's actually theory.
It's
right?
not theory. Okay, so wait, let's go step by step. How is it possible for the last thought to dissolve? It's very difficult to understand because we have so far understood that when you take up a higher thought, the lower thought falls. Right? This is how we've done the whole thing.
That is correct.
That is correct. Okay. So now when you have the highest thought, what higher thought can you take? So Krishna in the Gita says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhya mokshami ma sucha. So this is one of the most famous verses. And what he says is Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Give away all dharmas. What dharmas are you giving away? The dharma of the body is action and perception. The dharma of the mind is emotion. The dharma of the intellect is thinking. So Sarva Dharman Parityaja. That means Parityaja is a labhyanta form. It's having given up all these thoughts of the body, mind, intellect, and all its interest, mam ekam sharanam vraja. Ekam, me alone. Think of only one. Surrender to that only one. That means all you have is that one last desire. Aham tva sarva papebhya mokshayishyami. I will give you freedom from all papas. All papas means all agitations, means all desires. I will free you from all desires. Ma Sucha, don't worry. Don't worry. It sounds impossible. How will you lose the last thought? Don't worry about it. I'm going to do it. That is what he shows when he is, Makhan Chor. The whole concept of Makhan Chor is about this. That there is milk which the cowherd girls collect. This milk they make into curd, this curd they make into butter, and the butter they go and hang up there. Milk represents a pure mind. Who has a pure mind? The cowherd girls. Who are these cowherd girls? They all love the Lord. So these people, they collect all the makhan, all the, the butter. All the milk. And they put in a little bit of dahi in that, a little bit of knowledge into that love. And that becomes curd. That flowing milk becomes solid curd. Flowing milk can go anywhere. You can be a pure-hearted person and your thoughts are going all over the place. It doesn't help. With knowledge, it solidifies. Good curd, when they bake in the village, you turn the pot upside down also, it will stay. You put a spoon in it also, that spoon will stay. So thick curd, that means now your mind is mature. This mature mind you can apply towards Nitya Anitya Viveka Vicharam, towards thinking about what is permanent and what is passing, towards thinking that I am not this body, mind, intellect, I am the self, as represented by the act of churning. You keep churning the desire, the thoughts, you keep churning them, you reflect upon them, and you're churning it. And then true knowledge comes from within. As you keep thinking, as you keep reflecting, knowledge rises to the surface in the form of butter. What is knowledge? Knowledge is knowledge of the higher. This you store. Where do you go and store it? You hang it up. You attach it. It's the higher, right? So that's why they show the butter is hung up. And you keep collecting that butter and you keep hanging it up. Then what happens? Then what will Krishna do?
He steals the butter. He steals the butter.
The butter. In Bhakti Yoga, this is how they explain it. He will steal the butter. What is that butter? It's that last thought of the higher, the desire for enlightenment. So what does it mean he will steal the butter? Is he actually going to come and take the thought away? No. What it means is the thought will drop away of its own accord. Don't worry about it. Ma Sucha, don't worry about it. It will go of its own accord. You say, no. How will the thought go just like that? No other thought went just like that. Then you have an experience in your own life which shows how that thought goes. Every night, you want to go to sleep. You bring yourself to single-pointed notion that I want to go to sleep. So you switch off the lights, you put your head on the pillow, and all you want is to go to sleep. You want to sleep. And then you fall off to sleep. When you fall off to sleep, because as long as you want to sleep, you won't be able to sleep. Have you ever had insomnia? You want to sleep, but you can't sleep. So whenever that want to sleep is there, you won't be able to sleep. The only way to sleep is if you lose the desire to sleep. But how do you lose that desire? You put another thought there? No, just stay with it. Just stay in that state of the room is dark, your head is on the pillow, I don't know, whatever AC you put on, whatever it is, you're holding on to your duvet or whatever it is you do to sleep, and you stay there. And the thought dissolves of its own accord. Similarly, in meditation, you stay there. You have just that one desire. You allow that desire to go into silence. Just stay there. The desire, that last desire, will dissolve of its own. Don't try to figure it out because nobody knows how it goes. It goes. That's why the Lord says, don't worry. Don't worry means don't keep asking, is it gone? Is it gone? Are we there yet? No, just stay there in quietude. It will go. So sorry, Milind, if I haven't answered your question. In short, it means I don't know how it goes. But the Lord assures us it goes. Huh?
Unless own experience, you cannot come to conclusion. Means conclusion means what it is said, you cannot experience until we go in that state.
Correct. But now, since we are so far away, we might as well figure out how to do better karma, how to do better bhakti, how to do better jnana. That last thought will take care of itself. That is what the Lord has assured us. Those who have already experienced it have told us it will go of its own accord. Don't worry about it. He says that, na? Sarva dharma parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. Aham tva sarva papebhya mokshayasya. Masuja. Don't worry. Don't get nervous about that. Just continue doing what you have to do. What do you have to do? Sarva dharman parityajya. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Leaving all dharmas, think of me alone. All dharmas, dharma of the body is perceptions and actions, dharma of the mind is emotions, dharma of the intellect is thinking. Sarva dharman parityajya. Parityaja. Tyajya, to leave. Parityaja means completely leave. Mamekam sharanam vraja. This is where our concentration has to be. Not on that. That you leave to me, he says. Tapan,
Okay,
are you okay?
Thank
No?
Yeah, thank you.
Tapan, are you new to class?
Yes, I am new.
Okay. So I hope everything's clear. If something is not clear, please feel free to ask.
Sure. Thank you.
How did
Janki
you
ji,
know the class, Tapan?
Pardon?
How did you know about the class?
So I was getting regular message. I have subscribed to WhatsApp group. I visited center also. But somehow in last few weeks I was not able to attend.
Okay.
Then I realized I should go ahead with today's session.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Ashya, can you please elaborate more on being true to one's body, mind, and intellect, and how to be more true to it? Ashya, you don't have a problem with that. Why are you asking? Be yourself. When people tell you do karma, you say no. Be yourself. If that's you, then that's you. Be yourself. How to be more true to it? By self-assessment, by allowing yourself to be. One of the problems of human existence is we want to interfere in everything, whether it is nature as an outside or nature as in ourself or nature as in somebody else's. We want to all the time interfere. Just leave it alone. Everybody left alone will be themselves. So if you leave yourself alone, you'll just automatically be yourself. What else will you be? But if you say, oh my God, if I do this, that person will say that. If I do this, I will have no money. If I do this, then this will happen, that will happen, that will happen. Too much thinking, overthinking it stops us from being ourselves. If I'm continuing to be myself, then that person will get a nice 5-bedroom house, but I will get no house. You just forget about all these thoughts and think about who you are. Take every decision from the perspective of the kind of person. Just like you do this so instinctively with a washing machine, right? What do you do with a washing machine? You work with the machine as the machine is. For instance, you will put your clothes into it in a certain way because your machine demands that it be done in that particular way. Will you put your coconut chutney to be made in the machine just because it's going round and round? You say, okay, I'll put some chutney in it, I'll get chutney. Will you do that? You'll never do that. Why do it with yourself? Just see what it is and be what it is. That's it. And I say, oh, that's too complicated. Now that there I can't help, because the simplest things in the world are the most complicated. Ab main kya karu? You just have to leave yourself alone. Is that helpful? Okay. Okay, they make lassi in it. Oh, I see. Okay. If their washing machines allow that. Okay, so who else? I know somebody else. And Pravesh. Yes, go ahead, Pravesh.
Harikam Janki ji.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, as you said that don't think so much about. So my question is, contemplation is one of the key parameter to connect to the higher desire. More we contemplate, more we will be able to make our desire strong to connect. So if that you have said that if we go to sleep and if we think of that, we won't be able to sleep. Means here it will not be think that, yeah, if I have to wake up early in the morning, then how that star becomes strong and will be able to wake up in the morning. Means if I will not think that, and without thinking it, how it is possible that I'll wake up early in the morning? Means
No,
thinking
you
is
think it.
required.
Yeah, you make up your mind to get up early in the morning, and then stop thinking. You don't have to say, I will get up, I'll get up, I'll get up. You stay awake all night if you think like that. One very cute person asked me many, many years ago, he said, you told us to do introspection at night. I have noticed that introspection, if I do introspection at night, then I can't get up in the morning. So this cannot be correct that you have to do introspection. That was his question. So I said, how is that possible? You did introspection at night and you can't get up in the morning. It didn't make sense. So what is this person doing in introspection? 1 hour he's spending over it. So they're unnecessary thoughts, right? And so obviously he can't sleep. And if he can't sleep, he cannot wake up. So you take a call. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock or whatever it is you do. And finish. The call is over. Not I'm going to get up, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get up. Have you tried to take a flight early morning and you know you have to get up and you get up 5 times at night because, oh my God, have I missed the alarm? You know, it's too late. Why does that happen? Because you're not letting a thought go. You have to let the thought go. Having, you know, our minds are a stream of thoughts. And unless this stream of thoughts knows where to play and where to stop, you mix up the balance of life. There are times it has to play and there are times it has to stop. You know, that playing and stopping makes for music. You notice even in music, there's a stop. In everything, there's a stop. And that's why there is harmony. That's why there's music. Otherwise, if the music just goes on and on and on, it would be horrible. Have you noticed some of the most beautiful songs have actually quite a long pause? There's nothing happening, it's just silent. That creates the beauty of it. So we have the balance of life is, what am I supposed to think about? And when am I supposed to think about it? And when am I not supposed to think about anything? Okay, now you'll say, how do you do that? And I will answer in exactly the same way as I always do, which is
morning study. Morning studies.
Yeah. Now everybody is so bored with me. They think I know only one thing. A key answer. All questions, one answer. So, yes. So the only way you know when to do what is with an intellect. But how do we get an intellect? Through morning study. Right? So, in answer to your question, it does sound confusing, but take it back to your own experiences where you have done this. Thought where you should and not thought where you shouldn't, and you will get it. Because this is not like something that you don't know about. Remember, everything in Vedanta is something you know about because you have lived through it. You just have to be able to figure out which is the one we're talking about now. You're not learning something new. You always remember in Vedanta, you're never learning something new. You're only removing the junk. It's like mining. It's not like you're creating a diamond. The diamond is there. You're removing all the dirt. What remains is diamond. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, as I understood that we need to contemplate more about the positive things rather than
Not positive, but correct.
correct.
Yeah, because you can make a mistake by being positive. Na? Suppose you say, oh, Israel and what is this, Palestine are fighting and let's be positive and everything will work out well. No, they may kill each other and the rest of us. So you have to think correct, not positive or negative is a what shall I say, a human sort of tone to it. We need to, as Vedantins, get down to base realities. It's not positive or negative, it's true or false. As far as possible, of course. And it's not positive or negative. Everything is positive or negative based on what we do with that piece of information. Okay, let us say we know a gossip monger. We say, oh my God, so bad, she's gossiping all the time. Okay, or you use it for your goal. Whatever your goal is, you can use this particular quality for towards a positive purpose. Gossip mongers are very helpful, right? They create visibility for your goal. They go and talk all over the place. Now in the class, people are all so introvert, they never say anything. Nobody knows that we exist. Nobody knows the classes are there. But the gossip mongers are good. They will go and say, oh, there was a class yesterday. And this happened and that happened and that happened and that happened. And then one person asks this question and then another. Sometimes they make it sound like there's a movie going on over here. So it's good, right? So every quality can be put you put towards the goal and use positively. Use positively in the sense towards a positive outcome. So there's nothing negative or positive. It's true or false, and then we use it for a sensible outcome. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mukesh Bajaria.
Hello, good morning, Janki. I've got two questions, maybe not completely related to topic doing Q&As, but I want to ask you, follow on from Aisha's question about be true to yourself. And you were saying, I know what your answer is going to be, morning studies, so I'll give you the answer first. But you mentioned be true to yourself. Now, for example, a person who's got a high temp is very temperamental. So you can't just keep on being this temperamental person with every situation, every person you're talking to, because would you not want to, I mean, consciously you're aware this is not, this is what I am. Or like you give an example of a washing machine, that's what it does, washes clothes. So, but they improve the washing machine, they have new technology, so forth. So how do you actually step up? I mean, I think it's morning studies, I'm sure the answer is, but how do you actually step up? Because one feels frustrated when the thing is, your conscience bites you. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but how do you actually step up? I know something that I've done wrong, and I know this is not right. I've done something wrong. I've hurt someone, for example. How do you can't keep on just apologizing because you're not actually improving. You're going to do this again in another situation.
So firstly, you understand what is true to yourself. Be true to yourself is being true to your integrated personality. Being temperamental is just one part of it. I'm giving the example of temperamental. Okay, let's take somebody who's very hot-tempered. Only one part of your personality is hot-tempered. The person, the individual themselves feels it should not be so. So what Vedanta says is, instead of thinking it should not be so when it is so, if I'm hot-tempered, I'm hot-tempered. Okay, so if it is so, can I use my temper for a more productive purpose? Do I have the choice to choose my battles? So what I need to do is the ability to know when to lose my temper or when to use my temper, rather than saying I should not be hot-tempered. No, that you are. You are means I'm not talking about you, a person is. So now I must therefore gain the ability somehow to know when I'm going to use that. There are many instances where you need it. You need to fire people. Yesterday, my neighbor was telling me this. I want you to saw this thing, and he was very, very upset with him. And then she brought the whole place down. She fired him. She fired all the other servants who have got nothing to do with any of this. She created so much hangama around it that then she's telling me, I fired him. And then what happened? She said, now today is behaving properly. So I'm not suggesting you create such a hangama, but the thing is, she has achieved her end, which was to get her staff member to perform certain actions the way she wants it, by throwing a fit. Now, because she's not trained in Vedanta, she doesn't know how to throw a fit without getting worked up herself. You're free to throw a fit. Why not throw a fit? You will hear from the core team about they talk like this. They think I don't know, but they talk like this. Oh, she's taken her Durga roop. Fix it. You can throw a fit if you want, but that fit should not give you a heart attack. Right? So whatever is the flaw, which according to us it is, we must know how to direct that flaw towards a positive end. Like if I'm hot-tempered, then this is a good thing when I use the temper in the right place. So I must know, should I be getting angry in this situation? Should I be getting angry means, should I be using my temper in this situation or not? So there's no flaw or virtue except in how you're using it. Some people are very conjuice. Very conjuice means very miserly. Why do we call them miserly? Because they save where they should not be saved. Some people are very extravagant. Why do we call them extravagant? Because they spend where they should not be spent. So there is no good or bad quality except where it is applied. Some people are very stubborn. That means they're sticking to things they ought not to stick to. This same person with the same stubbornness will be called consistent if he sticks to something that he should be sticking to. So there are no flaws like that. It's just how am I applying it? My whole personality is useful. My whole personality is good. My whole personality is useful depending on how I use it.
May I proceed a bit further?
Yeah. This much is fine?
Yeah. So in the spur of the moment, I think it, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the spur of the moment, you blow your temper. And then you really reflect and you realize, no, this was not the correct way to deal with the situation. It's too late. The person's been, you affected that person, they're hurt or whatsoever. So your intellect, I believe this is the intellect comes into play, that you're going to use that whatever personality traits you have at the right time. But my question is, I still want to personally feel, no, why would I want to? You can deal with the situation in a calmer way. Morning studies, I suppose.
Sorry?
Morning studies.
No. Yes, morning studies is right, but you have to think about how it's applying to the situation.
But sometimes it's so instant, almost like instant coffee. You just done it, and not even given. How my question is, how do you? I mean, people say count 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then. But at that moment in time, that 1 to 10 doesn't come to you. You just react.
Two things that you could practice, a person could practice should this happen. Number one, introspection at night. That 5 minutes, remember the day, remember that introspection thing, 5 minutes, just remember the day. Just remember it, don't analyze it, don't criticize it, nothing, just remember it. Now, when you do this, the intellect which we already have becomes available to us. So that's 5 minutes before you sleep at night, before you put your head on the pillow. That sit up in bed, do it for 5 minutes, and then go to sleep. If you forget some portion in the middle of the day, forget it, just move forward. Intellect was not available, it will become available. Do not worry. But the whole exercise cannot take more than 5 minutes. All right. So that is one thing. And secondly, there is no reason to be so harsh on ourselves. Other people are not being so harsh to us. When we think, oh, I lost my temper, and this person is got to be so mad at me, and I'm so embarrassed, what will they be thinking? Sometimes they'll be thinking anything about us. It was just one silly moment in their day, it's over, it's gone. We need not make it such a big deal in our mind. We can chill. You know, we are all of us, all human beings, terribly flawed, all of us. The body, mind, intellect is flawed, by definition flawed. Now we all live with each other, right? And we take it in our stride. Yeah, okay, my husband is in a particular way, his wife is in a particular way. Just take it in your stride. Nobody is judging us so much. And if anyone is judging us so much, that is their flaw. So just take it easy. It's not such a big deal. You got angry, you shouted at your wife or your child or something. Half the time they just take it in their stride. You say, no, they're not taking it in their stride. Then what I can do is find out, have I not served enough? If I have served somebody enough, okay, sometimes you shouted at a staff member and he's very angry because you shouted at him. But cooler sense will prevail on him also, no? He will realize that, yeah, my bread is buttered more than in other places, so he's not going to do anything. Not that I'm saying that we should go about start shouting at people, but just don't have to berate ourselves so much over a flaw that we have. We all have flaws. Who doesn't? We take our flaws and other people's flaws in our stride, and we are all going together collectively towards that end. So, just say, oh my God, I've got this flaw, Then what are you expecting? To be perfect? Neither you are perfect, nor is anyone around you perfect. But we will try our best, and we will fail also. That should teach us humility. When I'm busy telling other people, oh, you did this and you do that, let me remember what all I have done. So just take it easy. I mean, we need not take ourselves and our lives and our flaws and our journeys all seriously. Have fun.
Thank you.
Tapan, this class is only Q&A, okay? In case you're wondering why on earth we are not doing any text at all. Next time we'll do text. This time we're only doing Q&A because we finished a chapter. If you have
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. So listening to current discussion, I can recall that Shri Krishna in Gita says that you can control your mind by two things. One is abhyas and second is vairagya, practice and detachment. So when I was reading on detachment, there are a lot of things being said. Whether one theory says that it is difficult to detach, but the key is to get attached to the higher one.
Correct.
One theory is that. Second thing says that, you practice your real self so that you can get detached to this worldly pleasure, and you can be away from this. Then
Wait.
Shank-
Both these theories are the same. There's no difference between your first theory and your
okay,
second theory. Because higher is
yeah,
the self.
and Shankaracharya.
Yeah, Shankaracharya.
But I think for some people it is easy to get attached to the higher one or something else, and for some people it is easy to get detached. Like for a player, some player plays for getting a win, and some people play not to lose. So maybe that might work for people. And Shankaracharya says on dispassion. So is there any difference between dispassion and detachment? Sometimes, I look forward for clarity on that, if there is some difference between dispassion and detachment.
Okay, so Tapan, just to give some unasked for advice before I start, is study with one person or one text or one teacher or one school of thought, because all confusion gets created. It's just like solving a math problem at this one problem from 4 different colleges. They're all no doubt saying the same thing. Their answer will all come to be the same, but the methods are different. So when you say, are these the same? Are they different? People use them same, people use them different. It's better to follow one school of thought, get clarity, and then of course you read anything, it'll all come out to be the same. It doesn't matter later on, but in the beginning you must try to follow one school of thought. Get the fundamentals right. There is a LMS course we have on the fundamentals of Vedanta, whose name I am currently forgetting. Does anyone remember the name? What is it called? Foundation course. Foundation course, right?
Okay.
Vedanta Foundation course.
Vedanta Foundation course. So that course, if you study, you'll get the whole the fundamentals. Like once you have that in place, everything else will make sense. Now, as for your
Sure.
question of is dispassion and detachment the same thing? Many people use it synonymously. Some people do not use it synonymously. In some cases, we use dispassion to mean that when you have a passion, when you have a emotion, when you have a strong feeling, no matter how strong that feeling is, action should come from the intellect, right? So as a diabetic, if you have a very strong inclination towards eating sweets, your action must anyway come from the intellect, not from that feeling. Are you with me so far? Some people use passion and dispassion and detachment as the same thing. Some people use it differently. I'm now explaining when it's used differently. So dispassion means actions are governed by the intellect. That means no matter what you're feeling, you do what is right. Detachment means detachment, renunciation, vairagya. All of these words refer to having grown up. Having grown up means having no value for the lower, not no value, right value. Like there is a small child, okay, let's say a 5-year-old child. A 5-year-old child loves to play with his toys, but he has his studies to do. So when he does his studies and doesn't play with the toys or doesn't go out to play or whatever it is he would have loved to do, but does what he ought to do, sometimes the word dispassion is used for that. Detachment is when that child grows up to be a teenager and he no longer is interested in playing with those toys. Is that clear?
Yes.
Right? So dispassion is I feel for it, but I still continue to do what is right. Detachment is, I've lost the value for that thing. It's not affecting me anymore. Some people use it differently like that. Some people don't. However, both these concepts are correct. Kalyan?
Yeah, so
Can't hear any. Kalyan, I can't hear anything. Can you put it? I can just hear static. Just write it. In the meanwhile, I will see what is satsang host. Satsang host Omkar? Who is satsang host?
Yes,
So,
Omkar. Yes.
So detachment is growth and dispassion is a choice. Yes, Omkar, as long as you're using those words in that way. Everybody doesn't. That is why the first, some people use dispassion, detachment, renunciation, all as the same thing. It's always better to stick to one and define all your terms, right, at the beginning. Otherwise, all this confusion. So detachment is growth. Yes, renunciation is growth, which we are going to do in the next chapter. And dispassion is a choice. Dispassion is a choice means dispassion is choosing correctly. Dispassion itself is not a choice. Dispassion means that you have chosen correctly. In this particular usage, please,
Yes.
we don't use it like this. In this particular, it means you have chosen correctly. You're a 5-year-old child, you had to study or you had to play a game, you chose to study. And when you did that correctly, that was dispassion. Some students go crazy studying, and then you have to catch hold of them and send them out to play. So because their love is study, when they play at the right time, that would be dispassion. So I'm just saying that so that everybody doesn't think that as long as the child studies, he's a good child. No, he has to study, he has to play, he has to do a host of activities. And when he gets all the choices right, then it is dispassion.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Kalyan, I'm asking your question.
I'm just trying to type.
Okay.
And dispassion is something like that we are not doing our passionate things to do the right things at the right time.
It's not that we're not doing what we don't have passion for. We are doing it at the right time, in the right way, in the right place. Why would you not do what you have passion for?
I have passion for something, but now at that particular time, I have to do something other thing because that is be the priority of this time to do that.
Yes, but it's not by not doing what you're passionate for. You're doing the right thing at the right time. What is your passion, you're doing at the right time. What is not your passion, also you're doing at the right time. You're doing everything at the right time, right place, right amount. Basically, your intellect is governing that action. There is Kalyan. Kalyan, you're writing a very long question.
Yeah, just completing.
He was clear, Janki ji, just now. So if he can speak now, makes.
No, okay.
Is it okay now?
No, can't hear. Go ahead. Silence is not a bad thing. Kalyan. Earlier you mentioned that you continue to do things and enjoy activities even as you study Vedanta. However, in my experience, the sense of enjoyment in some activities has come down as I study more and more of Vedanta. For example, I enjoy hockey less, which I used to enjoy more. It depends, Kalyan, on what is your inherent nature. It's like at the core of our personality is the self, what we really are. Now, close to that core is also our nature. And then there is, what shall I say, junk vasanas outside. I mean, there's no such thing. Please forgive the liberties I am taking with Vedanta. But there is the core, that is the self, the true nature. And then there is my innermost sort of nature. And then there is things of lesser and lesser value as it comes out. So as you go further and further within, as you become more introverted, as you go towards your core nature, all the external things will naturally matter less and less. But who you are at core, you're actually approaching being that person. Now, I do not know when you say I enjoy hockey less, what exactly you mean. Do you enjoy playing it less? Do you enjoy watching it less? Do you enjoy winning it less? So depending on what kind of thing was involved in the way you were playing hockey or viewing it or whatever, it will change if it is a core interest. Suppose, for instance, Sachin Tendulkar gets interested in Vedanta, he's not going to lose interest in cricket. So, because that's his core being, right? So maybe hockey is not your core being, or maybe, first you were more interested in winning it and therefore there was an extra excitement. But now maybe you just love the sport in itself and not its winning or losing. It's difficult to say. But theoretically, as you approach your core nature more and more, you are just a more satisfied person. Obviously, no, because you are yourself. So you're less and less dependent upon whatever's going on around. Because you are just being you. You're not being convoluted in any way. You are being released, as it were, from influences. So you will enjoy whatever is your core nature.
Okay, I meant things like the tendency to watch a match where India is playing, definitely, even at the risk of not attending a meeting or doing something else. So those things have come down.
Yes, obviously. Naturally. Those will definitely come down, because now you're being dispassionate in the way we were using the term. That it is, okay, chalo, ye hota rahega, I can watch it, let me do later also. So yeah, those kind of things will definitely come down. The authentic BMI is revealed first then. Yes, the authentic BMI. You are just being yourself, because as long as you're not influenced by external happenings, then naturally you're just yourself. So yes, so authentic BMI is revealed first. And also, what is the role of silence in the 3 yogas? the role of silence in the 3 yogas is the disinclination to do anything else. You're not interested. You're doing your 3 yogas and everything else you're silent towards. Like, you have no view. Suppose you are with your family, for instance, okay, and your attention is on doing your 3 yogas, and somebody tells you, let us go for whatever. Which movie is going on nowadays? Anyone knows? Some movie is going on, let us say. It is a Shah Rukh Khan starrer.
12th fail. Good movie. 12th fail.
Which one?
12th fail.
What?
Barbie fail.
Barbie fail. Oh, is it? Who's acting in it?
Some guy called Messi, but it's a very good movie.
Okay. So somebody in your family, it's your family time. Somebody says, let us go and see Barbie fail. Somebody goes and says, no, I want to see Barbie pass. So these two will have an argument on to see fail or pass. But you have no view on this matter. Whatever they decide one way or the other, you are going because this is your family time, your service to your family. You want them to be happy, right? And for them, happiness means you go with them for a movie. So you went with them for a movie. Don't care less. Whatever movie it was, you will see Vedanta in it. Either in a good way or bad way, in the sense both ways will teach you something Vedantic. Either what to do or what not to do. So you have so little view on anything. That is the silence. Someone says X, you say X. Somebody says Y, you say Y. You have very little view on it. Your only view is what takes you to your goal or doesn't take you to your goal. That's the silence.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for today. Hari Om. We will start renunciation.